Have you ever felt that social expectations and toxic relationships are holding you back? At Official Sigma Male, we understand that feeling perfectly. We live in a world where we're expected to follow norms and patterns that don't always align with our true essence. But what if I told you there's a way to break free from all that and emerge stronger? The Sigma Male archetype is one that few understand, but many envy. He doesn't seek approval, doesn't follow the herd, and when he reaches his limit, his response is silent but devastating. Imagine being able to emotionally disconnect from everything that drains you, burn bridges that lead nowhere, and restart your life with a powerful new perspective. In this video, we'll reveal how the Sigma Male wields strategic silence, disconnects emotionally to protect himself, and makes irrevocable decisions that transform his reality. It's not an easy path, but it's a journey toward absolute control over your life. If you've ever felt trapped in dynamics that don't benefit you, now is the time to learn how to break free. Are you ready to uncover the secrets that will help you rebirth as an unbreakable version of yourself? At Official Sigma Male, we don't just tell stories, we give you the tools to take control. Get ready for a journey of self-discovery and transformation that will change your life. Let's get started. Strategic silence, the art of calculated patience. For a Sigma Male, silence is not a sign of weakness or passivity. It's his greatest strategic card. When he reaches his limit, he doesn't let himself be swept away by emotional chaos or impulsive reactions. Instead, he chooses silence, using that moment as a calculated pause. This silence, far from being submissive, is his way of anticipating scenarios, like a chess player who acts not out of impulse, but out of foresight. For instance, in a family or workplace conflict, he'll maintain a low profile while observing interactions, hidden agendas, and the vulnerabilities of every piece on the board. In this state, one might assume the Sigma is paralyzed, but his mind is more active than ever. He opts not to contribute to the noise or waste energy on fleeting arguments. This allows him to connect with his inner clarity and conserve energy for fundamental decisions. For example, if he's in a complicated relationship with overwhelming emotional demands, he'll apply reflective silence as a protective barrier instead of engaging in continuous confrontations. This not only disarms the other party, but also enhances his capacity to find strategic solutions. What's fascinating about strategic silence is how it destabilizes those expecting an immediate reaction. Emotional or manipulative people often seek confrontation to reaffirm their control. When they don't receive a response from the Sigma, they're left unsettled. But beyond unsettling others, this tactic gives him control over time and emotions. Instead of justifying, attacking, or explaining, his silence creates a vacuum that puts him at an advantage as others exhaust themselves in uncertainty. Ultimately, this calculated silence acts as a protective shield. It keeps the Sigma from getting entangled in toxic dynamics and establishes clear boundaries without needing to articulate them. However, it's not a permanent state. The key lies in what happens after the silence, the decisions he makes, which are often firm and irrevocable. And that's where his true transformation begins. Emotional detachment, the point of no return. Emotional detachment doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, usually triggered by an accumulation of unresolved disappointments and tensions. For the Sigma Male, reaching this point means recognizing that his emotional investment no longer makes sense and that any further effort would be futile. This moment, while it may appear cold from the outside, is a deeply rational decision. Imagine it as a bridge the Sigma stops maintaining because it no longer leads to a worthwhile destination. At this point, he achieves a state of emotional bankruptcy. In this state of detachment, the Sigma gains an objectivity few can match. He's no longer influenced by external expectations or social pressures. He focuses solely on what adds value to his life. For example, suppose he's been in a personal or professional relationship full of demands and manipulations. Once he emotionally disconnects, that relationship loses all power over him. It's as if he flips the emotional switch and assumes a cold but resolute role, allowing him to concentrate only on practical solutions. This detachment is often mistaken for insensitivity, but it's quite the opposite. Emotional detachment enables the Sigma to protect and prioritize himself in scenarios that previously drained him. A common example might be reducing or cutting off constant communication with someone who always demanded his attention without reciprocating. It's important to note that he doesn't do this out of resentment, but from a need to preserve his mental and emotional energy for things that truly matter. What's intriguing about the Sigma's emotional detachment is that he doesn't announce or explain it. It simply happens. Those who once tried to manipulate his emotions encounter an invisible, impenetrable wall. This state not only eliminates toxicity, but also sets the stage for one of his most decisive actions: burning bridges. What starts as simple distancing often becomes definitive, leading to irreversible change. Burning bridges, cutting toxic ties for good. In the Sigma male's life, there comes a time when emotional detachment isn't enough. Cutting ties permanently with certain people or situations becomes inevitable. This process, often referred to as burning bridges, is not impulsive or vindictive, but a necessary step to ensure his own well-being and progress. Imagine the Sigma in a dark forest, where certain paths only lead to endless mazes. Burning those bridges is like lighting a torch to illuminate the right path, eliminating routes that brought only confusion and exhaustion. Burning bridges can take many forms. It might mean blocking a phone number, quitting a toxic job, or distancing himself from a social circle that no longer adds value. For example, if an old friend consistently undermines the Sigma's achievements or emotionally manipulates him, he won't hesitate to end that friendship. His actions, often quiet, make it clear there will be no return. This isn't about creating conflict or hurting others. It's about committing to self-care and mental clarity. The reasoning behind this decision is the Sigma's deep understanding of the value of his time and energy. He refuses to waste them on one-sided relationships or situations that compromise his peace. While it might seem harsh or radical to him, it makes no sense to maintain bridges that only lead to conflict. Why leave a door open to chaos? By burning these ties, the Sigma creates an empty space he can fill with projects, connections, and goals that truly propel him forward. The impact of this process is profound and transformative. Those who once had unrestricted access to his world find themselves shut out with no way back. But more than just clearing his environment, this action gives him something invaluable: the sense of absolute control over his life. With this newfound clarity, the Sigma takes the next natural step: a mental reset that redefines his personal and emotional reality. Mental reset, redefining personal perspective. After burning unnecessary bridges, the Sigma male doesn't dwell on the past or linger on the ashes. Instead, he uses the moment as a turning point to perform a mental reset. This step isn't merely a surface-level change. It's a profound reconstruction of his perspective, values, and priorities. Picture a gardener who, after clearing out weeds, patiently prepares the soil to plant new seeds. This reset allows the Sigma to purge his mind of accumulated emotional toxins and open himself up to new possibilities. A mental reset involves unlearning old patterns and adopting a more conscious approach to life. For instance, if the Sigma previously allowed external opinions to influence his decisions, he now filters selectively who has access to his time and energy. This transformation isn't immediate. It requires deep reflection and small, practical adjustments to his daily routine. He might embrace activities like meditation, solitary walks, or keeping a journal to track his thoughts and evaluate how each decision aligns with his renewed perspective. What's remarkable about the Sigma's mental reset is how it transforms his entire outlook. Once he reaches this state, he begins to see adversity not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as a learning opportunity. Suppose he encounters a professional failure. Rather than indulging in self-pity, he uses the experience to strategically plan his next steps. Every setback becomes a chance to reconfigure and emerge stronger. This process doesn't just strengthen his mindset, it makes him an even more unpredictable figure to those who once tried to control him. With his renewed vision, the Sigma interacts more selectively, staying reserved and strategic in his future decisions. This naturally leads to the next logical step in his transformation, mastering the art of controlling what he shares and what he keeps private, giving him unparalleled power over his narrative. Selective information control. Speak less, do more. After a mental reset, the Sigma male recognizes that knowledge isn't power until it's handled strategically. This realization prompts him to adopt a principle of selective information control, turning silence into his most powerful ally. It's not about being secretive out of paranoia, but understanding that not everyone needs to know his plans, moves, or emotions. Picture the Sigma as a poker player who reveals his cards only when absolutely necessary, never too soon, and never more than required. By controlling what he shares and when, the Sigma cultivates an aura of unpredictability. For example, if he's working on an important project, only a select few will know about it, and even then, only the essential details. This approach prevents interference, premature criticism, or even sabotage by those who may not have his best interests at heart. It also allows him the time and space to perfect his plans without external distractions. This strategy grants the Sigma a high degree of autonomy. By not seeking approval or external validation, he directs all his energy toward executing his goals. This contrasts sharply with those who feel the need to announce every move, sacrificing the advantage of surprise. To the Sigma, every word is like an arrow, fired only when the target and impact are clear. As a result, selective information control not only safeguards his privacy, but amplifies his influence. The less he reveals, the harder it becomes for others to anticipate his moves. This deliberate enigma isn't accidental. It reflects his intentionality. By letting his actions speak louder than his words, he ensures that others respect him for his results, not empty promises. At this stage, the Sigma is nearing complete control, ready to embrace his final and most profound transformation, rebirthing as a stronger and more strategic version of himself. Rebirth as an unbreakable version of yourself. After traversing a path of silence, emotional detachment, burning bridges, a mental reset, and mastering selective information control, the Sigma male emerges entirely transformed. This rebirth isn't symbolic. It's a total reconstruction of his essence. He is now more aware of who he is, what he wants, and where he's headed. Like steel forged in extreme fire, he has become stronger and more indestructible. The challenges of the past haven't weakened him. They've become the foundation for his new, fortified self. In this stage, the Sigma fully embraces his individuality and independence. He no longer seeks approval or feels the need to fit into others' expectations. For example, if he once avoided conflict to maintain harmony, he now understands that saying no is an act of self-care. This rebirth also empowers him to redefine his goals with greater clarity. He no longer moves out of fear of rejection, but out of the conviction that he can design the life he truly deserves. The most significant change in this rebirth is his relationship with personal power. He now wields it without hesitation or false modesty. For example, If he previously committed to projects or relationships out of pressure to please others, he now carefully chooses what truly adds value to his life. This transformation extends to how he inspires others, not through imposition, but through example. His clarity, actions, and unwavering resolve leave a lasting impression on those around him. Ultimately, rebirthing as an unbreakable version of himself doesn't make the Sigma inaccessible or rigid. Instead, he learns to balance flexibility with an unshakable adherence to his principles. This balance makes him more adaptable and effective in facing any adversity. Each recalculated step and firm decision solidifies something few possess: absolute control over his destiny. However, this process doesn't end here. Life will continue to present new challenges that refine his inner strength even further. Now the question remains, are you ready to put this into practice? Now that you've uncovered the secrets of the Sigma male, strategic silence, emotional detachment, burning bridges, mental reset, and selective information control, you're faced with one crucial question. Are you ready to apply these insights and transform your life? At Official Sigma Male, we believe everyone has the power to take control of their destiny, but it requires courage and determination. Think about the relationships and situations currently holding you back. What steps can you take today to emotionally detach and protect your well-being? What bridges do you need to burn to eliminate toxicity from your life? And most importantly, how can you begin your mental reset to emerge stronger and more focused? Reflect on these questions and take action. Your future is in your hands. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep learning how to become the best version of yourself, subscribe to our channel, Official Sigma Male, and turn on notifications. Don't miss our upcoming videos full of strategies and advice to master your life. Join our community and start your transformation today.